I want to do a short video to clarify something I said on a previous video. It was on my video that talked about the offender in an affair and that he or she wasn't the only person to do wrong. And that is true, not apologizing for that. And in that video, I talked about us searching our souls. Say your spouse cheated on you and they were 90% of the problem, to search your soul for the 10% of your problem. Because that whole idea about don't worry about the speck in somebody else's eye until you pull a plank out of yours. Maybe they have the plank and maybe you have the speck, but nonetheless, we still need to analyze, do we have a speck in our eye? I got several comments from people, though, on that video that I made it seem as if all problems were equal and that, okay, I had an affair, just cut me some slack, don't ask me any questions, don't give me any details. So if I was told that by more than several people, I realized the problem might have been mine in communicating, so I apologize. So first and foremost, I do want to say, yes, there is no offense in a marriage that I can think of that would be greater than having an affair. It is a massive betrayal. You can betray your spouse in various ways, but who would find anything greater than that? You've introduced a third person or more into your marriage. So I never, ever, ever, especially as the former betrayer, want to make it seem like my husband's faults are as big as mine. He has faults, yes, but in that example. So never, ever, if you're the betrayer, make it seem as if they should forgive you equally for that affair because you forgave them for getting a flat tire on the car you told them not to drive. But what I am saying, and I want to reiterate, is that I'm always trying to get us to search ourselves. So the reason I did that video is there's so many people who say, you had an affair, you're done. You are evil, you'll always be evil, you're the wrong person, I'm right, I'm gonna hold that against you forever. And I'm not gonna forgive you until you crawl to me on all fours. You tell me everything you did. I will decide whether or not I want to forgive you. And it's that type of thing I was looking at. There are often times, even within my own marriage, and it took us many, I would say decades, before I was finally able to say to my own husband, if you throw that in my face one more time, I'm leaving. Because there was this attitude of, all right, you're the wrong one. So never for the rest of our marriage will I ever have to claim any fault because you're the one that did that. So it's a balance that we're looking at. When we are Christians, do we do as Christ said? Do we forgive our enemies? And yeah, he is talking about our enemies that do such a horrific thing as sinning against you with an affair. Jesus died on the cross for all of us, for those of us having affairs, for those of us that were killing others, sex trafficking. He forgave the big things, but it didn't mean that he overlooked them, and it didn't mean that he said, well, they're not such a big deal. Thanks for admitting it. Let's go on. So again, just a clarification. Affairs are huge. But I don't want you asking, and here's the second point of this video, just wanted to clarify. I also said in that video not to ask them details of the affair, that they shouldn't have to tell you anything. What I was focusing on were those people who were asking for all the intimate details that will do you no good. Here's how we did it. Here's the positions we did it. Here's all the locations we did it. Here's all the thoughts I had in my head while I was doing it. What is that going to do for you? That will do you no good, because I have seen more damage caused by people who said, all right, I'll tell you everything. I will tell you every single detail. And the person who asked for the details is repulsed. Then their head is filled with the visions of, oh, they were there, they did this, they did that. So let me just put that back in your lap and say, be careful. If you want the details and if you demand the details from your spouse who betrayed you, then be prepared for the answers. But if you do get the answers you want and you can forgive and you feel that person's trustworthy because they shared all the details, then maybe it's good for you. But for most, it's not. I do think of one person whose spouse had affair after affair after affair. He loathed himself. And it came to a point where he just sat down with his tail between his legs one day and he told her every detail. everything. She did not want to hear it. But she did come to a point where she said, he couldn't possibly hide anything because he shared with me things that I couldn't have even imagined. So I am going to ask you to search yourself before you ask your betraying partner for all the details. If you know they're honest about, yeah, I did it with 7 people and these are the people I did it with and these are the time frames that I had the affair. Those are the kind of details that would probably be helpful, but not the details of the sexual acts. Does that make sense? Let me know. There's a lot to peel back. And another one last thing. When I do these videos, I'm taking a case after another client, and I'm trying to put them together. Everything that I speak macro isn't going to 100% fit into everyone's life. So it's kind of difficult. But if I'm talking to you one-on-one, I will listen to your situation and still parse in the same way with which I'm giving you information now. And maybe I might say, okay, in your case, maybe you want to get the information. Maybe you should get the details. But then I'll also caution you. So if you need any more information, if you want any more specifics, look me up, Christine at breakfastwithbacon.com. All I want to do is save your marriage. All I want to do is keep you from divorce. All I want to do is teach you that if someone has an affair, it's not a death sentence to your marriage. It's hard as hell. Yes, it is. And I do say hell on purpose because it came from hell. But it can be overcome because God is bigger than Satan. And I am looking forward to celebrating my 40th wedding anniversary this year because God is gracious. All right, I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. This is a mini Breakfast with Bacon. Remember always to live your life sunny side up.